There are few things that are more important to a person than friendships. Having someone that you can hang with, do life with, and share your hurts with is an absolute godsend. But in a day when text messaging and Facebook have removed a lot of the face-to-face interaction, it's important to recognize that we need the high fives and the people in our world, life on life, that can make a difference. Enter the band Switchfoot, a group of friends that have made their friendship a melody for the world to see. They're our guests, and guess what? You've got yourself a backstage pass. Next to our family, the most important life shaper you and I come in contact with will always be our friends. They provide one of the most fundamental needs every human has, that is, to be in community. We asked Tim Foreman of Switchfoot how important friendships are to him.
I think friendships are overrated.
Thanks, Tim.
No, I think I look back at I look at our band, for instance, and we've been able to do this for 7 records, and it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the friendship that we have amongst each other, the respect, and we actually really enjoy being together, and that makes the moments when we're away from home for weeks at a time a lot more bearable when you're doing it with people that you enjoy being with and people that are reminding you of what's important. We're constantly reminding each other as to why we play music. I think it's important to have people that can shoot you straight. If anyone gets a big head, there's 4 good friends right there to kind of bring them back down to size.
Now, I think friendship is only as deep as the kinds of conversations you have. Do your friends call you out when you make bad choices because they care? Do you, in turn, make sure and say the hard things as well as the kind things when your friends need to hear a voice that cares? Friendship is about being honest in love. And we've got more from Tim and Chad coming up. So stick around. You're watching Backstage Pass. Welcome back to the show. Now, friendship is great, and with the right kinds of friends, you can always know that there's a group of people that have your back. But life is a journey that throws all kinds of curveballs, and because of that, it's easy to lose heart when we only lean on ourselves. Again, this is where it's great to have healthy friendships. But what do you do when your friends have the same life experience you do and can't give advice about the road ahead? That's where a mentor becomes important.
Well, we had the opportunity to work with a guy named Charlie Peacock on our first album. He basically signed us and gave us our head start. Getting to record an album with him was amazing. He's much more than just a producer and an artist himself, but he is a mentor. He is a man of deep thought, deeply creative, deeply spiritual, just an amazing encouragement to us. He could be very jaded because he's been through so much in his career and in his personal life. Somebody that's been in the music industry for that long, you would think, wow, he's kind of over it or jaded, but he's not. He's a guy who really loves people, he loves music, he loves communicating, and he really imparted that to us, just the value and the platform, the value of the platform and the opportunity and taking the music seriously but not taking ourselves seriously. Yeah, I think having somebody to go to outside of your parents, your core family, somebody that you can look up to, somebody that you can share experiences with, glean information from their life experiences and ask questions. I think that's invaluable on all different life levels.
So how about you? Do you have a mentor? Do you have someone you can go to with questions about where you're at in life and maybe where they've already been? A mentor is more than a friend. It's someone 5 or more years older who's learned from the highs and lows of life and can give you the footing you need to make your one and only life count. We'd love to help you find someone like that at Remedy. Drop by chatlistenlove.com right now and let's begin the conversation. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Now, one constant about life is that we will always keep growing. Having a mentor through one's teen years sets us up for success, but more than that, it allows us to see how we too can be a mentor to someone else once we get down the road of life. I asked Switchfoot about how they see themselves as mentors.
Well, you know, the touring community is pretty tight-knit. Everyone kind of knows each other, and I enjoy that. You know, I enjoy coming to festivals like this and running into bands like Reliant K. You know, toured with those guys, and the Almost. We're going out with them this fall. You know, you've got these relationships that you maybe see each other a couple times a year, but you share a common bond with, enjoying each other's music and, crossing paths in unlikely spots. And, I think we've had bands that have kind of come alongside us. The one that comes to mind is 5 Iron Frenzy. They took us out on 3 or 4 tours when we were, just a little band starting out. And we've had the opportunity to bring out a lot of other bands, whether they're from San Diego or just bands that we like, and kind of shine a spotlight on what they're doing, which is a unique opportunity to be in the role that we're in, to be able to kind of, reflect some of the attention to people that we feel are well deserving of it. We have an event every year called the Switchfoot Bro-Am that we do in our hometown of San Diego. It's a surf contest, and we have bands play, and we kind of get to handpick some of our favorite local heroes and people from all over the country to come and be a part of that. And that kind of really, for me, sums up the spirit of kind of shining a spotlight on what other people are doing.
Welcome back to Backstage Pass. Now, in my own life, I have had many great mentors. People who warned me of the pitfalls ahead and celebrated gifts I didn't even know I had. But one of the things I'm most grateful for is that my mentors always reminded me that life is meant to be lived.
Well, one bit of advice that I always tell the bands that are starting out is to really enjoy the moments. It's easy to be looking towards the next thing, and you hear a lot of advice from people around you saying, well, if we do this, then we'll be able to do that, and if we do that, then we'll be able to do that, and consequently you're never able to enjoy where you are. And I think that's true for life in general. It's really easy to look backwards and say, that was great, or that wasn't, or to look forward and say, wouldn't it be great if? But it's there's very few times in our lives where we're able to look at what we have right in front of us and say, wow, aren't I blessed, and to try and live in the moment and realize those gifts that are right in front of you.
Now, as you watch this episode, I want to ask, do you have the kind of people around you that you can lean on in difficult times? Do you have healthy friendships? How about a mentor who can speak into your life and give you the guidance for the journey ahead? At Remedy, we make it our mission to help you find these kinds of people. We chat, we listen, and we love. Visit chatlistenlove.com and let's have a conversation. And thanks to Chad and Tim from Switchfoot for joining us. And thanks to you. My friend, you've just had a Backstage Pass.